Okay, I'm over here by the welding table. I'm just showing you the mag drill because I've got to pack that thing up today, pack up the bits and stuff that goes with it, and take it back to the company that I borrowed it off of. They want me to take a look at something too and see if I can build something for them. But anyways, this has been kind of a short week as far as working in the shop updates, material, stuff like that, because I went to an auction yesterday, and we have, there's a friend of mine and me have been kind of trying to negotiate with the people that own this company to maybe purchase some of this stuff before the auction actually occurred. It was a creditor's auction, and we were kind of hoping that they would negotiate some stuff. They were willing to do it. They entertained the idea. We gave them some pictures of some of the stuff that we wanted from the auction, and they were going to get us a price on buying it outright before the auction. But I think something happened. Somebody got involved in it. It was either the bank or it actually could have been the IRS got involved in it, and they backed out of selling this stuff beforehand. But anyways, a lot of time has been spent going over there and kind of reviewing, looking at stuff and reviewing what we were thinking we wanted, both beforehand and kind of looking at stuff that we might want to bid on in the auction. So the auction was yesterday. I spent the entire day over there, so really nothing got done. But again, I did buy some stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mag drill. Did I say core drill before? Mag drill. And take it back to those people that I borrowed it from, take a look at whatever they want me to try and make for them. And then I have to come back and pick this stuff up that I bought from the auction, and I'll give you a little view of that when I get it back here. So I just got done shooting that video, and I told you that I had to go over and drop that mag drill off at the place that I borrowed it at. And what happened is what they wanted me to make, were able to end up making themselves. So, but while I was over there, they were trying to get rid of some stuff. This is a hydraulic punch, like a Whitney type punch. Now I don't know whether this is Whitney. I don't see LU. I don't see a name on the thing. But it's a Whitney style hydraulic punch. For punching steel, hydraulics, cylinder, pump, and stuff, and this kind of old Lincoln ideal arc welder, which is cool. Yeah, which is cool. I didn't realize it had AC on it too. It's got AC/DC on it. But I paid very little money for these two things. Again, I told them they never use the punch thing anymore, and the welder thing is very obsolete. You can get an inverter style welder that plugs into 110 and probably get as much dig force out of that as you can with these old style 3-phase welders. But I picked it up. Worst comes to worst, it doesn't work. I can probably scrap it for more than I paid for it with all the copper in it. bring you back. Okay, so I told you that I had been going to this place to where the auction was to try and negotiate some stuff off of it. Wasn't able to do that. And it's kind of an ironic story, and I'm not going to get it into it in this video, but it was a secured creditors auction, and there was a lot of stuff at this auction. I should tell you that it was a concrete plant, and they sold the entire plant except for the buildings and the property. The woman that owns it, or the family that owns it, are keeping the buildings and the property. So it was a secured creditors auction, and both the bank and the IRS were there at the auction, keeping track of what was sold and what wasn't sold. But anyways, this video is going to be short. I'm going to show you the drill bits. Mainly what I went there for yesterday was some drill bits, tapered drill bits for my large drill press. I didn't really have any of them, but we'll go into that at another time. There was a couple of other items there too, a lathe and a mill, Bridgeport mill, and a Monarch lathe, but they didn't go as cheap as I wanted them to go, or I would have purchased them too. But anyways, let me take you over and start by showing you the drill bits. So I've got them laid out on the floor. I just brought them back. I just did a rough count of them. There's 154 of them, and it starts with 3-inch, and the smallest one that I've found so far is 5/8. So 154 bits. As you can see from the size, it's probably 3 down to 2, so there is no 2.5 or anywheres in between. Let me just say one thing about this thing. Brian, if you're watching, I have no need for this thing. So if you need a Morse taper, I'm going to say that I'm not really sure what that is. Probably a 6. I don't know whether they make anything bigger than a 6, and it probably goes down to a 5. If you have any need for that, just let me know, Brian or Adam, if you're watching, Adam. But anyway, so I picked up these tapered drill bits. They were all in these cabinets, and I didn't realize it was in a dark corner. There was no lights, the power had been shut off. There was no lights in the building. We're walking around with a light on a cell phone trying to look at everything. So I didn't realize how many bits were actually in that cabinet until I started taking it apart. Or there was a table, a metal table that this thing was sitting on, and I was going to take the table, except the table actually had been welded to part of the structure of the building. But this thing is heavy. It took 2 of us to carry it out to the truck. I bet you that thing probably weighs 80 to 100 pounds just by itself. So I got that. I got this rod oven. The only reason I got this rod oven, not that I need a rod oven, nobody wanted to bid on it. I picked it up for 20 bucks. For 20 bucks, and it was full of rod. Now, again, the electricity in this place had been shut off, so this rod oven probably hadn't worked in a long time, or had been unplugged for a long time. The rod inside of it was just kind of in bad condition. The flux on the outside of the rod was coming off and cracked, and the rod was in bad shape. So there was a salvage company there that was picking up some metal, and I told them, you know, if you guys want that rod that's inside of there, just take it. And because I bought that thing, it's good for rod storage. I don't even know if the damn thing works, tell you the truth. So drill bits, rod oven, and then I also got this welder. Now, again, there was a bunch of welders there and they were selling them, and they were going pretty cheap because they're old style, old school welders. It got to the point where nobody wanted them. So me and another guy, there was 3 of them. He bid $100 on them, and it's what it is buyer's choice. And then he can take all 3 for $100 each, or somebody else can take it. He'll pick the ones that he wants, and somebody else can have the other ones. And I thought, for $100, you know, if the thing works great, I'll use it. It's a spool type MIG welder. Not sure that it can't be used for a stick welder. I have to investigate that, but it is a spool type MIG welder with a fairly long lead on the MIG, which sometimes is hard to find with the new inverter style MIG welders. But I regress. So I couldn't let it go for $100. If worst case comes to worst, I'll tear it apart and sell the copper inside of it for scrap and probably make double my money on the thing. So, but anyways, there's that. And again, what I'm gonna do is in the other shop updates, I will explain to you what I'm doing with these drill bits, how I'm gonna store them, because they will not all fit in there. They were kind of stuffed in there to begin with, and it's good. It's by 64ths, it looks like. Yeah, 64ths. It's by 64ths, so I might have to set that up on a wooden stand where maybe I can fit some of the other larger drill bits into it, but I'll figure it out. I'll show it to you. Some of them probably got to go in evaporust and get cleaned up before I put them away. Definitely that cabinet has to get cleaned up and probably repainted before I use it again, but that'll all be part of another shop update. But anyways, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks again for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, and Brian, if you're still there and you need this thing, or Adam, if you need that, let me know. Cheers.